Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Caden J. Hayes, and today we're diving straight into a topic that's shaking up global politics. No fluff, let's get right into it. Alright, let me give you a quick breakdown based on how different countries' political systems actually work, and why their foreign policies often look the way they do. First of all, outside of China, the political interests of many governments don't always line up with their national interests. A lot of leaders make decisions mainly to protect their own political power, not because it benefits the country in the long run. This is true for the United States, Japan, and the Taiwan region. Let's start with the United States. For decades, US politics has been stuck in a deep two-party struggle. After World War II, America relied heavily on financial dominance, the dollar system, Wall Street, and decoupling its currency from industrial backing. This created a global hierarchy where the US benefited the most, Japan relied on US markets, and Japan then pushed pressure further down the global supply chain. In short, it was a top-down system of economic extraction. But when Japan's economy grew too close to America's in the 1990s, Washington responded with the Plaza Accord, which basically forced Japan into a long economic downturn. And when Japan could no longer profit from global manufacturing the way it used to, its economy stagnated even more. Fast forward to today. The US now faces a new challenger, China. China's economy is getting closer to America's. Its military capabilities are catching up, and in manufacturing and high-tech industries, China has become a serious competitor. This has reshaped the core of US geopolitics over the last 20 years. Because of this, both Democrats and Republicans have found a new weapon to attack each other. Who can be tougher on China? It's a vote-winning strategy. Now let's talk about Japan. For a long time, Japan has been influenced by Western narratives portraying China as weak or unstable. As a result, many Japanese citizens tend to see leaders who promote cooperation with China as soft. This creates space for right-wing politicians to gain influence. Economically, the Liberal Democratic Party can't maintain strong political control on its own anymore, so its leaders rely more heavily on public approval, even if that support is built on misunderstandings. That's why hardline anti-China politicians keep rising to the top. It's not that Japanese voters consciously chose a right-wing prime minister. The political environment itself naturally produces one. If it wasn't this leader, it would have simply been someone else with a similar stance. Now, the Taiwan region. After the Kuomintang lost power, the Democratic Progressive Party focused almost entirely on political infighting. To survive, it leaned heavily on anti-China sentiment, both domestically and from outside forces like the US and Japan. But by investing so much effort into political operations instead of development, the DPP has weakened its own governing legitimacy. To hold on to power, the DPP keeps escalating its political messaging, launching large-scale recall campaigns and trying to push opposition parties out of the political arena. But this strategy is now backfiring. For example, the new Kuomintang chair, Cheng Li-wen, is actively building alliances with other figures, emphasizing that both sides of the strait belong to one China, opposing Taiwan independence and calling for peaceful dialogue. The KMT hopes united voting blocs can eventually remove the DPP from power. Meanwhile, outside forces the DPP relies on, like Japan, are also showing signs of internal disagreement. After Japan's government declared that a Taiwan emergency is an existential crisis for Japan, public approval went up by 3%. But inside the LDP, where leaders actually understand China's real capabilities, internal support dropped to 23%. As for the United States, the biggest external supporter of the DPP, things have shifted even more. After launching a global trade war this year targeting China, Washington has quietly stopped talking about tariffs altogether. The economic damage is obvious, and support for Taiwan has turned mostly into symbolic statements that aren't even written into official documents. And most recently, during phone calls between President Xi and Donald Trump, both sides described the conversations as productive. The US highlighted progress on issues like fentanyl, rare earths, and soybeans. China also emphasized that progress was made. What exactly that means doesn't need to be spelled out.